Can you break down like some of the other things that people might not know?
People go to real estate websites, they're looking for three things.
Can you talk to us about the product, how that works?
It's pretty easy. We actually have set up the real estate websites inside of your HighLevel.
So the real estate agent doesn't really need to do much?
What's cool about this is as that data is dynamically updated, you're dynamically, automatically sending out information to these people that's of value to them.
What I'm hearing here is somebody who is a great leader and really cares about people. Have you always been like that?
My theory is that everybody wants the same things I want out of life. Everybody wants good food to eat, a safe place to sleep, and have good places for their kids to go to school and be able to go hiking or go to a concert or go on a vacation.
It's just be genuine, just look after people, right?
And I've literally been moved to tears because I'm so overwhelmed. It's like, these guys are freaking geniuses. And I get to work with them every day.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode on the HighLevel Experience podcast. Our guest today is a founder of a tech company that's helping real estate professionals connect the dots between MLS and IDX data, websites, CRM systems, and also AI-powered marketing tools. He's worked in real estate himself. He's built solutions for thousands of agents. He's been involved in WordPress and IDX broker websites for many years. And he's also got a deeper technical background across internet, cloud, VoIP, and business systems. So he understands both sides of the problem. He understands what real estate agents need from a lead generation and marketing perspective, but also what it takes behind the scenes to make the technology actually work. And today, we're going to get into a few areas I think would be really useful for you guys listening, for all of you high-levelers, agency owners, SaaSpreneurs, and really anyone else building around HighLevel and serving the real estate industry. We'll talk about building and rewarding a team as well, growing through a freemium model, what real estate professionals actually need from technology, and how AI and CRM systems are changing the way agents generate and follow up with leads. So please welcome to the show, James Gold from RealtyCandy.
Hey, thank you, Vit. That's quite an intro there. I don't know if I know all that, but I'll see if I can answer your questions about some of that.
I'm sure you do. You and I spoke last year. I was very impressed with your product, what you've showed me, what you've been working on. But tell me, what's been happening since we spoke last time? How far has it progressed? Are you still heavily in that area or focusing more on the SaaS aspect?
Yeah, so we're a little bit different than probably a lot of the people that we talk to in the HighLevel space because we don't actually sell HighLevel. So we don't sell sub-accounts or we don't have anything like that. Our product is designed, we have it for a couple of different systems, real estate systems, and our product's really designed to help marketing agencies that work with real estate agents in the United States, Canada, and Mexico lower their churn and make the realtors a little bit more sticky to them. So we get compensated by these IDX companies that provide the data to the realtors, and we provide all that at no charge for the agencies and for the real estate agents using HighLevel. And so it ends up being kind of a win-win for everybody. Back to what you mentioned about a freemium business model. So that was kind of an interesting.
Yeah, certainly it is. Yeah. When you say, just want to clarify for the guys listening as well, like when you say agencies, you're not talking marketing agencies, you're talking the traditional real estate agencies that are using HighLevel as a way to.
Most of our business actually comes from the Vit Muellers of the world that have a marketing agency and they're selling HighLevel that's been customized and they've got integrations, they have all this stuff. Maybe they sell it to roofers and plumbers and chiropractors and they have some clients that are realtors and we help them with the realtor space. But we actually have, I'll bet we have about 20 agencies we work with that work exclusively with real estate agents. And so we provide them with the HighLevel tools that bring all that data from the MLS listings. It's all dynamically updated. They get their own dashboards. They can track what's going on. So that's what we provide for them. Some of those clients like you're talking about are actually like a brokerage or an office, right? Where they've got 10 agents or several hundred real estate agents in an office and they've chosen to use HighLevel. And so they work with us too. But our bread and butter is the marketing agencies that are selling their SaaS or selling high-level integrations to folks in the real estate space.
Yeah, right. So real estate comes to an agency. They want the agency to help them run paid ads for listings, for example. And then this is like the entry model, the traditional model that can be very much applicable to any business type, generating leads and maybe creating some nurture campaigns and helping them increase conversion, or even maybe helping them actually get the appointments as well. But with the real estate or any industry in general, there's always the operational side of things. For like plumbers, home services, they use Service Titan, for example, right? So they need that for the job management. Real estate is using something, what we're talking about here, which is IDX, which is listings, which is, and I'm breaking it down because some guys that are listening, they might have never heard about it before, so it's good to break it down. What that is, guys, is basically a large database of real estate listings on those big websites. Can you name some of those notable websites that are very known across the US?
Zillow.com, Realtor.com, Remax.com, a lot of those portals, they have all the listing data. So what ends up happening, Vit, is if, say we have a client that lives in Dallas, Texas, they may only have 2 listings, right? They're selling your house and your mother's house, and that's it. So if somebody shows up at their website and they show 2 houses on there, that doesn't give them a lot of credibility. So when they bring in the MLS listings using IDX, they may have 8,000 different listings. So anything you can find out in those big portals, you can find on this agent's website. And one of the questions we actually get asked about that quite a bit, people say, well, if everybody's going to Zillow, why do this? Which I guess is a good point. But what we see is the top producing teams and agents in the United States and Canada do have the properties on their website, and they use them as a way to nurture their clients and to see what people are looking at and then get them properties. If you're looking at homes in Dallas between 600 and 700,000, this is a way to get you more listings focused around what you're looking at, instead of saying, hey, Vit, just go look at Zillow. And when you go to Zillow, you might get pirated by another agent over there.
Exactly, that too, right? So what you're essentially doing is you're curating those listings that are under that particular agency as well, so that it doesn't create distraction. And at the end of the day, everything is about conversion, right? So if you're getting a visitor on your real estate website, that visitor being a potential buyer or potential seller, because it works both ways, doesn't it?
Sure, yeah.
Then you want to make sure that you show them the steps to take that needs to take for somebody to actually get interested in a particular property. So less having to click through, just landing there and seeing straight away listing nicely presented. Now, there's a couple of other things that are very related to that, right? So let's say you might have auctioneers that want the auction to be promoted. So this is where the agency can help with that. But can you break down like some of the other things that people might not know, by agencies that might be listening that might be like, you know what, that's an interesting industry. I'd like to learn more. Maybe that's an industry I'd like to offer my services to. What are some nuances between real estate sales agents and real estate buyers agents and the services that agencies do provide?
Yeah, I think what we see is here in the United States, and when I say United States and Canada, so I get kind of nervous with your accent and stuff that I'm going to offend Canadians out there. But basically, most agents do work with sellers and buyers. And when there was a study done by the National Association of Realtors that found that people go to real estate websites, they're looking for 3 things. They're looking for information about the agent. They're looking for social proof about the agent, testimonials, maybe videos and things like that provide some sort of social proof about the agent. And the third thing is they're looking for property listings. So generally, when you work with a real estate agent in the United States, this is a couple of questions that people ask us about, is they think, hey, I can just get the data from Zillow and show the whole United States and give it to all my agents. But this information about the listings is actually locked down geographically. So the people in Los Angeles cannot see what the people in San Diego have maybe, or
Unless you maybe change your VPN or something.
actually you have to be a member of an MLS. So there's an MLS in Dallas, there's an MLS in Houston, there's an MLS in Austin, there's an MLS in San Antonio. So if you want to show all the listings in Texas, you may have to be a member of 4 or 5 different MLSs. And the same thing happens in Florida and all these other places.
And
So
let me guess, that comes with a charge of being a member, right, doesn't it?
Yes, you have to pay. You got to pay to play, Vit. So sometimes we think, I just want a national feed. That doesn't exist. And so they have to be a member. It's very geographically focused on that. And one of the things you're asking about agencies or people thinking about working with realtors, a lot of people that I've heard, they're like, don't work with realtors because of this or that or the other thing. And there's some criticism about that. And some of that's probably pretty valid. But one of the things that I think about for us is that there's over 1 million real estate agents, realtors in the United States. And they're paying money to be a member of an MLS. They're paying money to do all these things. This is a big market. It's a huge market. And what I also think is the fact that a lot of people don't want to work with them. I hope you're not going to put this on the real thing, Vit, but the fact that a lot of people don't want to work with realtors, I think gives people a great opportunity. It's if, I don't know, people don't want to work with slots, right? I don't like getting blood and stuff all over my shoes, so I don't want to work with any slaughterhouses. Guess what? The guys that do go over there, they get paid real money to take care of the slaughterhouses. And so we see the same thing in the real estate space. There's a lot of agents that are just like my neighbor over here. She does it part-time. It's a hobby. She'll sell 3 or 4 houses a year. She's not going to spend any money. But there's other people that this is their livelihood, and they make millions of dollars a year in commissions. So for them to spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars working with you and your marketing agency, that's not a problem for them. It's an investment they're making in their business. They're happy to do it.
And being a real estate agent, it's heavily about building relations. It's all about relationships, going to meetings, coffee shops, meeting with clients. It's all about impersonal. So if they can have more of their time dedicated towards that, looking after existing customers or meeting new ones and not have to worry about marketing, it's a no-brainer. And if they can have the management of things inside a CRM, that saves them time and money. So this is the value proposition of connecting the dots back to what RealtyCandy does with the aggregation of those listings from those IDXs into HighLevel directly. Can you talk to us about the product, how that works? And I know that you have it on Marketplace for HighLevel as well, so it is available to other agencies through Marketplace, or do they need to reach out to you? Sorry, a couple of questions in that one thing.
If you go to RealtyCandy.com, or you can see us on YouTube, there's a bunch of stuff. It's pretty easy. You know what, Vit? We actually have set up a couple of cool things since I spoke to you last about building the real estate websites inside of your HighLevel. So if you're a marketing agency and you have your SaaS, we've built some software that'll build AI-powered websites inside of HighLevel in your SaaS. So you host that, you sell it for whatever you sell it for, and we just provide you either a prompt that you can use inside HighLevel, or we have some website designs and our software will just build it and automatically load it into your client's sub account on HighLevel.
So the use case here would be if it's like a starting agent or small agency that's starting out, or they don't have a website, or an established one but they're dinosaurs and they really need a refresh. So you could do that. And sorry, go. I was going to say, so the way you do that is you've got some snapshots, templates that you could do through the website builder in HighLevel. And I'm assuming you're also leveraging the AI Studio as an alternative.
Yeah, so we're doing both of those options. And so the use case for this, Vit, is I'll give you an example. We have an agency client that they're like big famous real estate coaches here in the United States. And so they get people signed up, and inside of their HighLevel, we give them a dashboard. And on their dashboard that their users see, it says, build me a new website. And their user can just push this button, and we build that website for their client, and the agency can charge whatever they want for that to their clients, or not charge them if they want to. And we don't We actually don't care. That some people will give it for free. Some people charge $500. We give it for free to the agencies when they have a good number of clients, say 10 clients with us or something like that. And it's not that big of a deal, 5 or 10 clients. So we see that. We're not really designers. We're kind of technical people, to be honest with you, Vit. And we're not that great at marketing. Again, don't tell anybody this on your podcast. But we're really good at making these tools. Here, I'll show you this. I think I probably showed you this. So I was a realtor back when I had hair and stuff. And so I learned a little bit about this in the trenches, to be honest with you. And so we got really good at this IDX piece, but we're not that great at building out all the marketing part. And we have some snapshots and some stuff we give our clients. But we think that when a good agency comes in, like this one I'm referring to, they have hundreds of agents they work with. They're real estate agents. They're pros at this. They build out HighLevel, and it's completely rebranded for their thing. And we just provide this MLS data, and they go to town with it. We have a couple agencies like that are really big players in the real estate space in the United States, and it all looks like it's all coming from them. Their clients love it.
Okay, so brilliant product. I like it. Now this is US and Canada only for the IDXs. You don't have access to Australia or European markets, do you?
We have another product. I'm going to Europe. I think I mentioned to you this summer. We're working with some folks in Spain, and we're trying to get some stuff set up in Italy and hopefully in Portugal. It's a HighLevel based product, and we have some folks in Australia also that we're trying to get this set up. But it's just kind of a slow grind on this international product. But it brings in the listings from any XML, any portal, any data feed that we can access, and it brings it all back into HighLevel and has a lot of cool features. But for our core product is the United States and Canada and Mexico.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, we've kind of explained everything in what it is. Seems pretty straightforward, but if somebody's listening and this is very new for them, if there was another way, like an elevator pitch, like explaining in simple terms, what's the real problem that you're helping solve with your product for agencies and for real estate agents?
Yeah. So they're actually two different things. I'm going to just pull this up. I'm probably old enough to be your dad, Vit, so I have to refer to my notes over here. But for the agencies, what we solve for them is it's a retention issue. So when they bring in, the real estate agents need three things to really be successful. They need a website, they need a CRM, and they need the MLS data. And they need them all to work together. So a lot of them have those three pieces, or they have two of those pieces, but they're very disjointed. They're very disconnected. And so we connect those together. That ends up making the realtor sticky to the agency. And the truth is, if the agency helps them with their marketing, they're going to be our client longer too. When we get a little piece, we get an affiliate off what they pay for the IDX. It doesn't cost them anything additional to use all the software we have. But that's the pitch for the agencies, is that your clients will stay with you longer. They're going to be happier. They're going to be more successful. And those kind of all go together. As far as for the agents, what we're seeing is that there's a couple of main issues for the realtors that this needs to solve for them. One is speed to lead, but a lot of people do speed to lead, which is how fast somebody signs up, how fast they get a response. That's really critical. But the other thing that ends up happening is in the real estate space, most of your leads are not going to actually, if somebody shows up at vitmueller.com to look at homes, vitsellsvictoria.com, they're going to show up. They're not going to buy a house today. This is not chocolate bars on Amazon. This is going to take them months. And so what often happens is the agent, there's a couple of problems. There's two main problems with this. One is the agent loses interest because they don't do a transaction this week, and it's hard to stay connected. So using the MLS data, you can stay connected with your client, and you're using HighLevel to make all this happen. The second part of this that I personally think is really critical is a lot of real estate agents will reach out. So say, Vit, you're looking at homes again in Dallas between 600 and 700,000. And say you're looking for homes with a swimming pool with 4 bedrooms. You got some kids and you're looking for a pool. We see that in the IDX data. We know that you're looking for that. HighLevel doesn't know that. The realtor may not even know that, but we're aware of that because we can see that in the IDX data. And so the issue that we solve for the realtor is when they're sending out emails to people, instead of saying, hey, Vit, I saw you were looking for homes here in Dallas. Let me know if I can help you out. It's too generic. That's not going to help. Vit's going to hang up the phone on you. Vit's going to ignore you. Where on the other hand, if you say, hey, Vit, looks like you're looking for homes in this price range, 4 beds. Here's a couple homes. Maybe don't give them too much information. Looks like you're looking for homes in Dallas. Here's a couple of new listings that I just saw that you might be interested in. And now as a realtor, I've used AI to automatically send out homes between 600 and 700 with 4 bedrooms and a swimming pool to you. I know that's what you're looking for. And so it helps keep you engaged. And now I can say, hey, Vit, if you want, we'll set this up. The emails or the text messages or whatever we're sending out to you says, let me know if you'd like me to shoot you an update when I see something that might be interesting for you. I've already proven that I know what you're looking for. So you have a high level of trust with me. Now you're going to want me to send you out updates. And so I can set those up and I can send you updates for the next 6 months while you move from the Czech Republic, while you get your job set up, while you're doing all these crazy things you've got to do. We're sending you out information every day or 2 days or once a week or however often I want to send that out to you. And so you see me as a source of truth, and there's a lot of trust that gets created. That is the essence for this whole real estate space.
You may not realize this, but for the last 2 years, I've had a secret weapon that has made running my business inside of HighLevel so much easier. You see, there is so much that HighLevel can do, which is amazing, but it's a lot of work to stay up to date with it. And even more so if my customers are asking me questions about it. And this is why I'm excited to announce that our show is officially part of the HLPT Creator Network. This is HighLevel Pro Tools, an organization that I've been using to run support for my customers, as well as give me a ton of awesome epic add-ons that make running, launching, and differentiating my SaaS inside of HighLevel so much easier. And now that they're an official sponsor of the show, they've done something pretty bloody awesome. If you go to hlpt.com/experience, you can get one of their incredible tools absolutely for free. No purchase necessary, just for being a listener on the show. So head over to hlpt.com/experience, grab that free tool, and I promise you this is going to improve the conversion rates on your page. Check out all the other stuff that they offer and tell them that Vit sent you.
You know what's wild? There's a smarter way to grow your agency and help more local businesses without adding more stress. That's what HighLevel does. It's your all-in-one sales, marketing, automation, and AI system. No more duct taping tools together or paying for 20 different subscriptions that barely talk to each other. I've been using it for 5 years with my own white-level version, Stand Out from the Pack, helping Aussie businesses like Dimitri, a Canberra electrician, who now runs his jobs, quotes, calls, and follow-ups with our built-in AI employee. If you're an agency, HighLevel lets you do exactly that. Support your clients in new ways while building stable, recurring revenue every month. And if you're a local business, partner up with somebody who knows your market and your industry. If you're in Tasmania, my mate Jared from Boulder Digital, for example, has you covered. If you're in Canberra, that's my turf. Check out standoutfromthepack.com.au and we'll get you sorted. The point is, there's probably a high-level agency or SaaSpreneur near you. We're seasoned marketers, tech-savvy super nerds who love helping local businesses grow. We're global, we're connected, we're high-levelers. Now, I've got something really special for you guys. I've negotiated an exclusive 30-day HighLevel trial that's double the usual just for you. Sign up your agency through gohighlevel.com/Vit or upgrade your existing plan, and I'll hook you up with over $3,200 worth of bonuses, resources, templates, and snapshots I normally give to my private clients only. So whether you're scaling an agency or leveling up your business, start with the right system. gohighlevel.com/Vit or team up with your local SaaSpreneur and let's make business simple again. One platform, one login, no duct tape, just results. Personalization is the name of the game when it comes to marketing and converting people. Whether it's emails, more personalized, more dialed in, more targeted, the content you can provide to somebody, better conversion you'll have. So what your product does is exactly that. It's curating highly personalized search preferences and it can do it on repetition anytime there's something new, and it just resends it on. You can just set up weekly, monthly. So the real estate agent doesn't really need to do much. Does the software does everything itself? Yeah. Just holds the data on the HighLevel side, leverages the HighLevel data as well as the IDX data. Yeah, brilliant. And I was going to ask you. Sorry, go.
Say, but what's cool about this is that the way the MLS information is set up, like back to our story about you buying a house in Dallas, the houses that are available today, in 3 months, those are all gone, and they're all new houses. So if I have to go through and manually look through this, it's never going to happen. It's a mess. So as that data is dynamically updated, you're dynamically, automatically sending out information to these people that's of value to them.
Yeah. Can you use some other metrics in there? Now, this is getting real nerdy now, but I'm sure there's some average industry data, how long a property stays on the listing before it gets sold on average per different states, different averages. But if, say in that example, somebody's looking at a house in Dallas, and on average we know that 4-bedroom houses in this price range in these suburbs usually sell within, say, 2 months. So if somebody has been looking for those listings and then you get that visibility into the CRM, and you know that listing's being listed there for 2 weeks already, can you use that data to create a bit more urgency and scarcity to the potential buyers? Hey, look, I see that you've been looking for those 4-bedders. There's 3 listings that kind of fit your criteria. Just wanted to let you know, 2 of them have been listed for 2 weeks already. On average, properties like that sell in about 2 months. So if we go by that, it's probably 6 more weeks before they go out. Just wanted to highlight that, and then maybe create an automation that pings them back in 4 weeks' time. And if those properties are still there, hey, look, by average, these properties should be selling any minute. Just wanted to let you know if you were still thinking about that.
So
what do you think of that?
We need to get you to be our business partner, because that, when you're saying that, that puts a huge smile on my face. We've never built that, but we could build that for somebody. I've never even thought about that. But that's a great idea. And those are the kinds of things that when we work with agencies, they'll come up with something like that. And they're like, hey, what about blah, blah, blah? This scenario exactly. Hey, properties are going to be gone. Let's let them know the likelihood this is gone gets really high in the next few weeks. Yeah, we can build that. That's a great idea.
Like, it's no different to tourism. You're going for holidays and you're looking up hotels, and booking.com will tell you, hey, there's 2 more rooms, last 2 rooms left. You're like, oh, damn it, I better buy it now. So there you go.
We don't know some of those statistics very well, but usually those are available. And like you say, they're available on an MLS basis. Some MLSs sell, think about New York City, they don't even hardly have any 4-bedroom properties, where if you go to Dallas, there's a lot of 4-bedroom properties, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, all those numbers shift, but the agents have access to that data, and we have access to a lot of that information. And so a lot of times it's just a matter of, what I'm saying is, hey, we got Vit Mueller Marketing Agency, and Vit wants us to build this thing. We have 10 people on our team that all they do is build software all day. They've been working with us for years. And so if we can figure it out, if we can think about it or see it, we can build it usually.
Brilliant. I've got one more technical question, and then we can move on to some other interesting stuff. But you're saying you get visibility into what people are looking at. Is this requiring them to opt in, or is it sort of the website has some sort of a ability to see what they're what they're looking at, just from, you know, how you get the IP browser?
We can track that. We call them anonymous visitors. That's pretty low value, to be honest with you, because it helps in that scenario that you're talking about, where we can say we have a lot of people looking at 4-bedroom homes. We just don't know who any of them are. But most of them have an opt-in. And the truth is, most people, if the realtor asks for the opt-in, they get pretty decent response. Without really prompting for it, we see like 0.5%, which I think is extremely low. But that's pretty typical. About 0.5% will just opt in by themselves. If an agent, say, lets them look at 2 or 3 listings, or on the first listing, they just ask for it. Hey, sign up. You're going to get a bunch of bogus listings, or people put their emails mickeymouse@gmail.com or whatever, and that's fine. But you can filter all that nonsense out really easily. But there's It's amazing to me how many people will actually put in Mueller@gmail.com and the real phone number and what they're looking for. People they're looking for stuff. They're actually looking for help. So
Yep.
yeah, but the opt-in is really critical. So when they're anonymous, we've actually used some services or some other people, and I think some of them, as I'm looking at this background, I think you may have interviewed. I can see
Yep.
one, maybe another person in here that sells that service with the anonymous visitors. But we tried to set up some of those and we bought their service and stuff, and it's really difficult to get that data really dialed in on the anonymous visitors for what this real estate piece looks like.
Yeah, because when you get it, it's still like you don't, depends how, yeah, because you kind of, let's say HighLevel Suite, for example, is a product that I'm using that has that feature. So you install a snippet code on the back on your website, but then that covers every single page. So how would it know what particular page or what particular listing they were looking at? You don't. And you get a personal detail. I've got like literally the other day, I had a hit on my website. A lady from, it gave me the state, it gave me the city, it gave me her personal email address. And in US, this is perfectly legal, by the way, guys, but it does not work in other countries. But in US, for some reason, there's a lot of freedom when it comes to certain things. This is one of those. And
see here in the United States.
yeah, but even if you generate that kind of contact detail, like how would you approach it? Like you can't just go, hey, I saw that you were looking at my website. I got your, that's creepy as hell. So you have to be really creative with that. You can't just go straight up. That's, even though, yeah, like privacy and all that, it's a bit more free in the US, but there's still a spam laws and anti-spam laws and all that. So
the truth is, I get your email, bid@gmail.com. Then I send you a thing. That happened to me. I'll just tell you the truth. I actually had a thing. I was looking at a piece of property, and I signed up with my realtor to look at some properties. And one day I was looking at some stuff, and I'm sitting here at my computer, and all of a sudden my realtor calls me. And so I was like, oh, wow. And so he says, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And we started talking. I said, so did I telepathy you? Or did you get some sort of an alert that I was looking at this? And he knows that I work here and we make software for realtors.
yeah.
I actually got an alert. And I thought it was cool because while I'm in that we can set up those, we have that already built out for folks too. After I saw that, we built it. This was a few years ago. But that's okay because I know that he's reaching out to me. He's helping me. He's going to help me while I'm doing this. On the other hand, if I just go look at .com and all of a sudden you call me up or you're shooting me emails, that's I'm never going back. That's going to creep me out. So I think there has to be, like you say, there has to be some sort of at least some soft buy-in by the person that they want to get some information. Otherwise, you're just spamming them and they're really low value leads. If they don't put in their name and phone number and their email or something like that, they're so low value, it's not even worth you fiddling around with. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm sure we have more opinions. If we had some cold outreach experts here. But I think me personally, I've always been a fan of inbound marketing, and inbound marketing only happens. It's like a litmus test. Inbound marketing will only ever happen if there's value in the marketplace visibly being seen about value that you provide, social proof, and clever offers that are irresistible that people want to opt in for.
Yeah.
Then you get inbound lead, and it just, even back when I was a personal trainer, I invested a lot of time in writing blog articles and sharing success stories and clients and all that. And I didn't have that initially. So when I did, for example, somebody booked in for a consultation and I was trying to sell them on personal training package, 3 sessions a week for $300 a week and all that, without that being in place, there was nothing that educated them about me. So the only thing I had going for me was literally just being there at that minute and trying to make the best impression and trying to build rapport and do it well. A lot more trickier than getting somebody who researches you, looks at your stuff, checks your case studies, and then pretty much just comes in already pre-sold. Yeah. And then that in person is just validation, confirmation that, yes, that's the right provider of the service. I've always been a fan of inbound. Outbound is great as well. I'm getting into outbound, but I think with outbound, you have to get a lot more data so that you can really personalize it. And then also really B2B only. Personal, like B2C it's very difficult. And also, I think I mentioned it maybe a while back that maybe the alternative method is you can get that list and then use it to enrich your audiences on Facebook. But even recently, I was looking into that one, and that is against terms and conditions of Meta. So if they can pick up on it, then you get in trouble. So I guess...
Again, we're not that great at the whole marketing thing anyway, so we depend on inbound marketing. But I think if you're good at that, and like you say, you see their emails and you send everybody a thing, hey, I'm Vit, I'm selling homes here, let me know if I can help you out or whatever. But I think I can see some value to that, but we just don't see that a lot of our clients get productive responses from that type of marketing. So,
yeah, for you, if I was doing a cold outreach campaign for you, you already said it. You've got the case studies, you got proof, you've got agencies that are using you guys, and you've got a great product. Your website is very well structured. You've got a lot of great information about the product itself. It's a no-brainer. I think it could work. But at the same time, you probably are getting referrals just naturally because of the product being so good, isn't it?
I don't know about that. I hope that's part of it, but most of our stuff is inbound. We have a real tiny niche, and folks that need what we have, we're essentially the best solution, the premium solution for this. And so we kind of own that space a little bit for the real estate connections with HighLevel, just because we've been doing it for years and we've invested a lot of time and resources into that.
And building a team.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the next section of this podcast, talking about what goes into building a successful team. This is an area that I don't know much about because I've never really been a fan of managing people. I've tried that. I'm just not a good people manager. I'm very work focus oriented. I'm self-disciplined, and I set my goals and tasks and projects, and I can pretty much just go. I've never really been a fan of looking over somebody else's work and making sure they're doing their work. And if I did that, then I actually go too extreme into micromanaging. So all the wrong qualities. But break it down for us. What's the right way about building a team?
You might be selling yourself a short there, brother.
Maybe.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell you kind of what we do with our team, Vit?
Yeah. Let's talk about your business. Yeah, let's unpack it.
Yeah, so you and I spoke about this. This is our secret sauce. So again, I hope this isn't going to be included either. But
So my wife, she does the post-production, and you've mentioned that a few times. So
I'm just teasing.
Okay, good. All right, because otherwise it'd be a nightmare. She's just going to be asking me, what can I leave and what can I... So is everything you said is what we ideally want to use. So maybe just don't say what you don't want to say. It'd be easier.
I'm just teasing. Yeah, I'm not saying anything that can't be published.
Oh, cool. Brilliant.
Yeah, so basically again, I hope you're not going to publish this, but our two secret sauces are one that we sell free software, so we give a bunch of stuff away freemium, and we've talked about that a little bit. But the other part is that the money that we make, we use a lot of it to share with our team. And so what we do, and you and I kind of discuss this, is we keep some of them. Obviously, we get money from these companies that we work with, these IDX companies. They shoot us a check once a month, kind of like an affiliate payment. We thought we were developer partners until I started working with HighLevel, and I realized it was essentially an affiliate relationship. But we do build stuff for them. But anyway, so we get this check once a month, and then we use the bulk of it to pay bills and keep the lights on and stuff like that, pay salaries. But we take a big chunk of it, about a third of it, and we split it among our team. And what that looks like is that long-term members of our team that are contributing with us, most of them have been here for 2 or 3 years, they get the same bonus that I get as the founder. I've worked here for 15 years. And so when we started this out, struggled, and in 2019, we started doing this. And I didn't even tell our team what it was, because I think the first payment, if I remember right, was something like $17 one month or something like that. So I just sent everybody a $17 bonus, let's say. And then the next month, it was something like $31. And again, I didn't tell them anything. I just bucks. And then the next month, I told them, I said, hey, we're doing this thing, and I'm measuring this, and it's whatever. And so now it's gotten so it's a few $1,000 a month. And it's pretty serious money. Most of our team, I'm the only one that lives in the United States. Most of our team lives in Mexico. I lived in Mexico for 17 years, so I have a bias towards hiring folks from Mexico. But most of our team live all over Mexico. We have some people in Venezuela, Colombia, Brazil, Philippines. And so what happens is you end up making a couple $1,000 a month, let's say, in a bonus, or $1,000, $2,000 a month, whatever the month looks like for us. And that ends up being kind of serious money in some of those countries. And so our team's able to buy houses, build houses, put their kids in good schools, go to concerts, go see Taylor Swift, all these different things. And so what ends up happening when we do that is our team stays with us for a long time, and they're interested in the success of our clients, because this isn't this month you get a bonus, next month you don't. It's recurring monthly revenue. They get a piece of the monthly recurring revenue. And so our goal is to retain clients, and we want our clients to stay as long as we can. So we're providing software that'll keep them for a long time, building stuff to keep them for a long time, providing service that'll keep them for a long time. And the benefits for our clients is that when they come work with us, it's not a thing where everybody's like, oh, James is going to get rich, we got a new client. Everybody gets some money for it from.
It's what I'm hearing is a very it's not win-win, it's a win-win-win-win. It's like a multi-pronged win approach here. A lot of people in this win, so that's great. I love it.
So we think it's the best thing for our clients. We think it's the best thing for our team. And to be honest with you, I think it's the best thing for me, because if I have to leave town or I get sick or whatever happens, my team doesn't even care. They don't care. They all know what to do. My daughter's working for me right now for the summer. She's kind of our intern this summer. And she just asked me yesterday, she goes, where do you find all these great people? How do you do this? My daughter's asking me this. And so what it is that there's a lot of pressure on the team to be a great team member, because when we hire somebody new, let's say we hire Vit, our team doesn't see you as a threat. Oh, here comes Vit. He thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. There's none of that. They're excited to have you because they think, hey, if we can help Vit contribute in a meaningful way, he's going to help the whole company go up, and I'm going to get a little bit more money every month. And so they're going to train you and they're going to help you, and they want you to be successful. Now, the other side of that is that if you're over there just smoking and joking all day and at the water fountain and not getting any work done, pretty soon somebody's going to tell me, they're like, James, I see Vit all day. He's sitting at his desk just eating pizza and he's not getting any work done. Or we have clients complaining that Vit's mean to him on the phone. Pretty soon you and I are going to have a pretty serious discussion, but our team monitors this, and we kind of, not that we're like Gestapo or police or anything like that, but it's a high performing team, and the expectations are really high to play on the team, because I'm giving part of my bonus to Vit every month. A member of our team is giving up some of their money to you every month, so we expect you to earn it. We expect a return on our investment too, right? So it's been a good thing for us. Our team stays with us a long time. Our clients love it because there's somebody that knows what's going on with their account, or there's somebody that knows the quirks of working with the Houston MLS or whatever that is. And so we carry a lot of domain knowledge in our team. We have people that have been, one of our guys just hit his 10-year anniversary. I think another one just hit 6. We got people 5 years, and we have a bunch of people in tech. We think it's a huge competitive advantage for us. The fact that our team has been here collectively something like, without counting me, I think it's something like 70 years or something crazy like that. That's the essence of it right there.
A lot of it comes down to leadership, though. What I'm hearing here is somebody who is a great leader and really cares about people, is what I'm hearing. Have you always been like that?
I'm trying to say that I don't really consider myself a great leader. I do care about people, and my theory is that everybody wants the same things I want out of life. That might be wrong, but I figure everybody wants good food to eat, a safe place to sleep, and have good places for their kids to go to school and be able to go hiking or go to a concert or go on a vacation. We have people on our team that will go to Japan on vacation. They've gone places. I can't remember where this guy on our team just went. I can't even remember where it was. Somewhere in Asia or something. I've never even been there. They've gone to places and I'm like, man, I want to go too. So
you understand everybody wants that, but you're also contributing for that to happen for others. That's what I'm kind of sensing here, that you are a giver. There are leaders, there are business owners that I've worked with where I've worked my butt off and tried, because if it's not my business and I'm working for somebody else, I don't know, it's just like you're either entrepreneurial or you're entrepreneurial where you're an employee working for somebody else, but you kind of still take ownership of that business and try grow that business.
Yeah.
And in my view, that's always been like, that should be valued, right? But I've come across situations where it wasn't. And you know why? It was the owner had just way too much of an ego, and they just started to feel like somebody else is taking over the spotlight. They want to be the one in the spotlight. There's literally one particular, I'm not going to name, but one particular agency where I worked when I was starting out, and the guy was just a total narcissist. So that is the flip side of it.
Yeah, and I've seen that. I grew up in Arkansas near Walmart, where Walmart was, and my dad worked for Walmart for years. And when I was a kid, I don't know if I was a kid, but as an adult, I read Sam Walton's autobiography, and one of the things that Sam said in there is that he wished that he would have started doing profit sharing earlier. That ended up being a key part of their success. And I knew tons of people, kids that I went to school with, whose parents, my folks didn't make that much money, but there were kids that I went to school with that their parents literally were millionaires off of that profit sharing from Walmart. And so I saw that as a young person, and I understood it as an adult. And it's, after a while, Sam Walton can't spend any more money. The truth is, Vit, I've invited you to come here to my house. I live in a middle-class house in a regular neighborhood in a small town in the United States. I'm a regular guy. And so I don't need that much money. And I don't think if I made twice as much money, I don't think I'd be twice as happy. I might be 5% happier, but I don't think I'd be twice as happy if I made twice as much money. So for me, just to accumulate money, and I've met people like this. One person in Mexico, when I lived in Mexico, somebody said this about a person I knew. They said, this person is so poor, the only thing they have is money. They were directing that towards another person. That person, they were saying that about somebody that was incredibly wealthy, but it was true. The only thing they had was money. They don't have good relationships. They don't have good health. And the truth is, those are on a Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Those things are the top of the pyramid. Money's actually at the bottom. Once we get enough money, it's like, how many more meals a day can I eat?
Yeah. Yeah, there's more currencies than just one currency.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it's a good thing when I've met, in fact, just a couple of weeks ago, I went to a conference, a prop tech conference down in Mexico City, and our two customer support leads went with me. And so we broke bread together. We stayed at the same hotel. Their rooms are across from mine. We all have similar hotel rooms. I assume they want to stay in the same place I want to stay at. We all eat together. And it creates a lot of really good vibes. These are remote people. There's one of those ladies, that was the second time I've seen her. She's worked for us for 3 years. And there's people on our team there's one guy on our team that's worked for us, I think for 6 years. I've never even met him. He didn't go to we had a trip to Cancun. We invited everybody that was with us when we hit a certain sales goal. We all went to Cancun about a year and a half ago, a couple of years ago, I guess. And I didn't meet him. He didn't get to go he had some personal things. But most of our team I've only met one time. But we work really well together because there's a real sense of team instead of it all being about James and I'm getting rich quick off this. Meanwhile, these guys are struggling to put food on the table. Honestly, I just don't feel good about that. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that.
Can we unpack that a little bit more? Like what's your regular day and regular week look like? And how often do you touch base with your team? How often do you guys meet? Or like we talked about the reward side of aspect, that kind of makes sense. Although I'm curious to know like more details in there, but more in the sense of the team management and continuing to foster that camaraderie and collaboration and all that.
So you have to realize this is an ongoing process, right? Before we weren't, like I said, we've been in business for 15 years. So whatever the math is, the first 9 years or something, we really didn't do much sharing. Everybody got paid by the hour or got a little bonus if they did some work, they got a couple bucks or whatever the math was. And so we're kind of figuring this out a little bit as we go. We use Slack. That's the core of our business is Slack. And so everybody on the team, we have all these Slack channels and everybody's connected. And so we're all connected on Slack. The other thing that's really important is that we do, like today I'll have a meeting with our support team. We meet twice a week for about half an hour or 45 minutes. And then I meet individually with each member of the support team for about 15 to 30 minutes a week. We have a time set up. And so we talk a little bit about what's going on in their personal life. If that comes up, one person just had a new baby in their family. So I'm going to meet with them today. Hopefully I get to see the new one and kind of know what's going on with that. But some people, I don't know what's going on in their private lives. They don't want to share anything. That's fine also. And we just talk shop. Hey, how's it going at work? What are you working on? How are you using Claude in code and what you're doing? And those kinds of discussions. We meet with our development team every Wednesday morning and we discuss, it's a show and tell. Everybody gets to see what they're working on. I meet with our 2 lead developers. Each of them run a team. I meet with them every Monday for about an hour or so. So I haven't really done the math on this, but I probably spend 8 hours a week just sitting in meetings with people.
Yeah. But they say this is one of the most highest values that you can do once you get to that position once you get to the point where your business is large enough, you got a big team, then really you as the leader of it, that's the biggest value that you can provide is by having those meetings and making sure everybody's looked after. And it gives you visibility as well so that you can make strategic decisions it just helps you keep the finger on the pulse, doesn't it?
Yeah, my daughter, again, when we were talking about this yesterday, this whole thing came up because she's supposed to be developing this AI product for us that she's working on. And she keeps asking me all these questions about HighLevel and about this voice AI thing and about how to tie all this stuff together. And I tell her, I said, you got to talk to Diana. You got to talk to Carlos about it. These guys do these different things. And she keeps coming back to me. And I finally just told her, I said, hey, here's the deal. It used to be me. RealtyCandy was me. I answered every phone call. I responded to every email. I connected every website. And so I was our lead developer. Every time we hire a developer, they move me lower down the totem pole for the developers. Now they don't even want me developing anything. But everybody becomes an expert because they spend 1,500 or 2,000 hours a year working on this one problem, like how to connect HighLevel with IDX Broker. And I spend 1 or 10 hours a year on that issue, right? And I spend 1 or 10 hours a year on this the voice AI thing. And I spend an hour or 2 a year on this other thing. And so I'm no good at anything now. I don't know how to do anything. They have me do Zoom meetings, and I tell people and clean the pine needles out of the rocks out in front here, and those are the 2 main things that I do. But the team, they become experts, and they share between themselves. They're like, hey, I'll take care of this if you'll take care of that. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't have to make those decisions. A lot of that stuff, I don't know. Like they told us, hey, we're working on this new thing with Google Maps for this product we're making. This team member would be the best one. They have a ton of experience doing stuff with maps. Boom, they're assigned to do it. But there is what some of our developers do in 30 seconds, it would take me 5 days to do the same thing. They have so much domain knowledge about it. So my role is to facilitate everybody getting their job done. Make sure they don't have any obstacles to getting stuff done. If they need Claude Code Max or whatever, we'll get them hooked up. If they need Notion to do their job, my job is to facilitate whatever tools they need, whatever training they need, and they want to be successful. They want our company to be successful. They want our clients to be successful.
You're changing my mind about leading people. You know what I said at the start, I'm not a fan of managing people, and it's just the way you've unpacked it is, you know what, I'm making it more difficult than it needs to be. It's just be genuine, just look after people, right?
Yeah. And I think
care about the business.
And I screw up all the time, Vit, and they know that. And we're honest about this. We do a team meeting. The whole team meets once a month. And it's usually a show and tell of what everybody's worked on over the month. And honestly, that's my favorite time of the whole month because I get to see all these cool things. And I've literally been on those meetings sometimes or I'm literally moved to tears because I'm so overwhelmed. It's like, these guys are freaking geniuses, and I get to work with them every day. Look at this amazing thing that's beautiful. They built something beautiful. They figured out a way to answer the phone on the third ring or whatever it is that's part of their job. I'm amazed at some of the stuff that our team does. And so the core is getting the great people in there. And then I think we've got an environment that allows them to be successful. And we don't have very many people leave us. Once they get working with us, we try to make it so they can't ever get out of here. And we just don't have people that leave us as a general rule. Over the years, there's been a couple people that have left, but not very many.
James, thank you so much, mate. Thank you for sharing this. I think this is very moving and motivating for others that are listening that might be afraid of like for me, it's been like actually like scary thing, like to have a team again. And like I'm trying to scale and grow my business, so I know I can't get away with it. And yeah, the way you've laid it out just put a new perspective on it for me. So thank you for sharing that.
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you, Vit.
Yeah. Look, we're at the end. If there was, first of all, bit of a summary so far, like what we've discussed. We went and dived in deep about your product, RealtyCandy, and I think that's a great offer. If you guys are listening, if you're in real estate or thinking about real estate, you should check it out. I'm going to set up a link, so just go to highlevelexperience.com/RealtyCandy. That's highlevelexperience.com/RealtyCandy. RealtyCandy. And you can find out more about that. Then we went into the journey and the now and what you've been able to accomplish and how you've gone about doing it and leading your team and the great things that you're doing there. So just wanted to thank you again for these insights. I'm always looking for ways to provide value to the listeners and make this true high-level experience. And I think we've done that once again. So thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Vit. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
If there is like a one final piece of advice you'd like to say to the guys listening, we're at the end. Now would be a good time to share that.
Yeah, Vit, I don't know. I'm not very good at that, but I would just say you get the right people on your team, set them up so they can be happy in life, and let them just realize, like, when my clients are taken good care of and my team's taken good care of, that ends up benefiting me in the long run. And it just makes life a lot easier than trying to hoard everything. And so I just think taking good care of clients and taking good care of the team and treating people like I want to be treated, that's the secret sauce for me. I'm from Arkansas, so we're real simple people. We're not too profound, but that's the way I figured it out.
I love it. And you come to that conclusion over time anyway. It's that less is more. Very often that being the truth. Even for me, it's being ADHD and like all these different things. My different projects all spun up at the same time. But then things just take longer. Whereas just dialing in on one thing generally has better results. And that's just in simple terms. So yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying. Thank you, James.
Hey, Vit, I appreciate it, brother.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode on High Level Experience. If you've enjoyed today's episode, then please do me a favor, share it on the community, share it with your mates, high-level fellow agency mates, other high-levelers that you think would benefit from listening. We've got show notes, we got links, we got tremendous amount of interviews. We've already hit 100. So that's been a lot of episodes and a lot of great people on the podcast, all sharing little snippets, little pieces of the puzzle, different strategies. Every episode, we unpack something that if you distill it down and take action, and I've highlighted it last episode as well with Calvin, we ended on that note saying, hey, if you're at the end, if you got to this point, make sure that you apply what you've learned today. Because otherwise, yes, you might have a good feeling from just hanging out with us. Maybe you're driving a car, you're listening to this, and that's still cool, like for mental health and just listening. But this is a business podcast as well, and I'd like you guys to continue to grow. So make sure that you apply it. Otherwise, from a business sense, it's a time wasted if you don't apply some of these learnings. And some of these things are quick things. Some of the other things are more of a philosophy things that take a bit longer, but put you towards that journey. Put it another way, Matt DeSano, he sends a really cool newsletter. Margin makers, like margin, like 1% improvement in your business is what over time just creates tremendous amount of improvement overall on the bottom line. So I'd like to see you guys just take one piece of something from these episodes, apply it, and then let us know, let me know, share it. We are across all socials, so all it takes is just connect and share what's been working for you. And if you really want to share something for the audience, you can do that as well. We have a way for you. We have a dedicated page where you can share your story. You just go to highlevelexperience.com / simple form, high-level form, upload either an audio or a video of yourself, just sharing your name, your agency, what you've done, what's been impactful, and we will we'll feature it on one of these episodes. So just wanted to highlight that, guys. Thank you so much again. Once again, for show notes, links, extra tips to help your agency or your SaaS of high level, head over to highlevelexperience.com. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.